Okay, this is a day trade recap. Today is June 28th. The stock that I traded is MRIN. This is a stock that I did a video on back on Thursday of last week. Today is Monday. And in that video, if any of you caught that video, I did mention that it would be days before it set up and became interesting to me to really trade because it needed to break out of a very specific range that I talk about in that video. Well, this morning it was doing that, okay? It was coming out of that range. And I was pretty excited about that. I didn't see it until I came in around 6:30 or 6:35-ish, and it was starting to horizontal trade below some hard targets, okay? If you need to know how I draw these hard targets, I'd be happy to work with you and, maybe mentor you through the process of that. But anyway, this is a hard target and this is a hard target. This would be the main target of the day right here for me, okay? But I abide each line, right? I pay attention to them because they tend to mean something to price action. Well, anyway, so what I did was here when I came in, I identified this horizontal trade range, okay? And those of you who follow my style know that I like to draw these boxes when it starts to go sideways, right? When trading is just kind of flat, more or less, makes a high and then it just goes flat. So I'll identify the range and I'll look for an entry and just trade within the range, and that's a really nice strategy to do. Pre-market, if that's when you come in and things are flat and this stock is going to run a little bit, and if you identify a decent enough range, and then go ahead and trade it if there's volume on it. This one, it was coming down towards VWAP right here, and I thought, well, I'm going to wait till it does that. If I get a good buy signal right in that area at VWAP, then I will get in at the bottom of my box. And sure enough, had a bunch of, let me zoom in on that, had a bunch of signals that showed up right there. If you want some chart settings like these that you can really trust, I'll set you up and get you all fixed up so that your chart is really easy to read and you'll get some really good signals that make sense. Plus with my strategy, everything really works. But anyway, so I got in around $5.07. I knew that my target was just going to be the top of this box. And how I drew that was based on my other indications. It was resistance, right, of the high. It tagged that level several times. That's why I knew, okay, that's the top of my box and the bottom of the box will be around VWAP, hopefully, or a 50 or whatever it happened to be. In this case, it turned out to be the VWAP. So that gave me a 40-cent range, and that's what I shot for, and it worked out great. Yes, it went up. I sold on strength right here, so I got a better fill. See how that candle pushed right through my box? I got a really good fill. Plus, there was a buy signal there, but I ignored this buy signal, right? Because a couple of reasons. It was at my limit. I stick with if I'm range trading, I stick with that strategy. If it continues past it, oh well, right? I still made 40 cents, or actually better than 40 when I sold into strength on this candle. But the other reason was it was pretty close to Bell, and I knew my trend, my higher time frame. My higher time frames were looking pretty exhausted, right? So at this point, it was kind of at a high, right? It was at a previous high. It was at a high. So this was at a high level. I decided, I'm just going to not worry about it. I'm just going to let it, especially at opening bell, right? I don't know what it's going to do here. With the higher time frames being exhausted, reaching exhaustion levels, I just thought I'm not going to mess with opening bell, and I'm just going to let it come down and give me a really good signal, either below VWAP or somewhere on a support level. See, I have this line here, and this is a line that I drew several days ago, like last week, or no, these lines have been on here for a while, and they work. They're continuously working, so I'm going to stick with them. Here, I was just waiting to see if it would come down to that level and tag it. Well, it only came a little below VWAP, and then it started its turnaround back up. And so I thought, well, this is it. So here's a mini gap fill opportunity, and I can teach you about these if you need to know how they work. Or you look for the turnaround where your lines are starting to cross and your target's going to be previous support. So that's all I was looking for on this second trade. First trade, I made 40 cents, right? Pre-market. Second trade, I'm looking for a mini gap fill because I'm below VWAP, right? You got to be careful below VWAP. It's going to probably reach certain levels based on what it had just done. So I got in around $5 and, excuse me, second trade, I got in around $5.10, and my target was $5.64, which it did, all right? It did beautifully based on previous support, because previous support will become new resistance for now, right? Not for very long, but it'll become until they prove levels, right? Until they prove levels, then you use that as your target, previous support will be your new target. So anyway, now I came down, and now it's going to prove view up as support. It's going to do that good old bounce off of view up. If I get a buy signal at view up, I'm going to get in, and I'm going to go to my main day target. Okay, and sure enough, I was able to get in at $5.37. My target was going to be this hard target, excuse me, which was $6.54, and it did beautifully. It tagged it, came back down. I didn't get in here and do it again because there wasn't enough range for me. So I just thought, well, let it show a level here. It's probably going to sideways or whatever, or let it come down to a major EMA, right? A major EMA, which is a 20 or a 50. Well, it crashed through my 20, came down to the 50, and it started to give me some really good signals right in here. It was tagging the 50, and it didn't want to sell below the 50. So I thought, okay, I'm going to get in. So on the last trade, oh wait, no, not the last trade. Yeah, the last trade was getting in at $6.39, and I knew that my target was going to be this high wick, previous high, right? Might go a little farther. I expected it to, but this was enough safe range. I'm a safe trader, right? I'm a safe trader. So I went from $6.39 to $6.97, and that was a pretty decent range, 58 cents. So that was my final trade. I didn't take it any further because of the higher time frames being quite exhausted, and I just missed this one little move, which would have been okay from it. It was crossing all the lines, not the view up, but all the other lines. So a little signal there, but it just didn't look like enough range for me, so I wasn't interested in. Now it's just kind of, where did it go? It went to previous support. Look at that. See what I just told you? So if you do the little bounce through if it's crossing through all your lines, you're going to go to the previous support level, and that was a pretty safe trade. It didn't quite actually make it yet, but anyway, all in all today, between my 4 trades, I made $2.44 per share, trading 3,000 shares. So it was a good day, and it's really a matter of knowing your entries, right? What is the stock doing? I have these lines based on the daily chart, and these lines are very accurate. See how it's treating this solid line right here? Had you known that it was going to tag that line, you would have wanted to bin in down here, right? And get that 92-cent range. Trading 3,000 shares, wouldn't you be happy to do that? Or coming in here and coming down here, just taking this little 58 cent or whatever it was trade, and then going another 92 cents. So in this case, sometimes the range may seem like it's small, but it's going to continue to give you opportunities to just keep kind of trading from line to line or entry to line, right? You may not be trading from line to line, but you're going from entry to line, and just have to be ready for those signals and understand how to get these lines that work very, very well. Look at how those just tagged that so perfectly. They knew that line was there, and I got this line from a daily chart, right? But not in a way that you would think, okay? It's not in a way that you would think. So anyway, that is how I drew these, and that's how I played this stock out, you know. So I did a range, I did a bottom bounce, and I did a view up bounce right here to a target, and then I did a little scalp to previous high. I actually did that twice. This is similar. This one was similar to that one right back here. Well, or should I say this one was similar to that one? Anyway, so that's all I did today. $2.44 a share, 3,000 shares. A really good day on MRIN. I think it needs a break. It's pretty exhausted. But sometimes these stocks can regroup and make one more push for the day. I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't try to go for that $8.26 anytime soon. So anyway, if you have any questions or need any help, let me know, and we will talk soon.